Our top story this afternoon, the wife of a martyr is being forced to run from pillar to post for allotment of a petrol pump that was promised to her at the time she received the Shaurya Chakra on behalf of her husband, Kernel PK Yadav. It's been 5 years since and her pleas for help have fallen on deaf ears. Has the country forgotten the supreme sacrifice made by Kernel PK Yadav? Here's a special report.
Kernel PK Yadav was awarded Shaurya Chakra for his relentless service to the nation. But despite his sacrifice, his widow Urmila Yadav is running from pillar to post to get her dues for 5 years. She was allocated a petrol pump by Indian Oil Corporation in 2010 under the defence quota. But despite her name figuring on the IOC list in 2013, Haryana administration has failed to give Urmila what is rightfully hers.
जब हमने आरटीआई से पता चलाया कि भाई सिलेक्शन किन किन का हुआ है तो उसके अंदर उर्मिला यादव लिखा गया है और बसंत यादव, उनके हस्बैंड का नाम नहीं लिखा था। हमने सोचा कि ये हम ही हैं, लेकिन अभी पता चला कि उर्मिला यादव वाइफ ऑफ वीरेंद्र सिंह कोई और है और उनका सिलेक्शन हुआ है और हमारा हुआ नहीं।
And with the inaction continuing unabated, the widow has threatened to give back the honour bestowed upon her husband.
अभी अगर कुछ नहीं हुआ तो फिर हमने राष्ट्रपति जी से टाइम मांगा है, मेडल लुटाएंगे उनका।
With the martyr's family's endless struggle for justice continuing, the administration's apathy is on full display. Bureau Report, India Today.
Does the Indian government have a tendency to forget sacrifices made by our soldiers? We have in our studios Colonel V.N. Thapar, defence expert. He's also the proud father of Martyr, Captain Vijay Thapar. Thanks so much for taking our time and coming to our studios, Colonel Thapar. But before I come to you, there's a caller we have on the phone line. Abhimanyu from Gujarat is with us. Abhimanyu, what do you have to say?
First of all, ma'am, very good afternoon, and I would like to extend the greetings to Colonel Thapar. Ma'am, the thing is that it is the society who has to remember the martyrs. If I take example of our American counterparts, even when a person dies, his ashes are brought in a manner as if the person is still alive. Now, none of the martyrs who have so far sacrificed their life for the nation, you will not find any record in terms of public domain, nor in the textbooks of the schools, nor in any other, popular literature. So the point to note is the way the soldier is being treated till date in India, post-independence, is in a very shabby state. They are considered to be no less than, to be just a kind of caretakers. Whereas this is not the state. A soldier is a person who is having the best of the qualities he deserves to be treated in the utmost courtesy. And this state of affairs only reflects the kind of apathy and the least concerned attitude which the bureaucrats or which the politicians are having. Moreover, belong to a state of Haryana which has been donating. It's a kind of a powerhouse to the forces. So it's a very sorry state of affairs, and we can't just blame the politicians, even the civil society.
All right, Abhimanyu, thanks so much for talking to us. You made your point. Colonel Thapar, would you like to respond? Do we as a society have a tendency of ignoring our martyrs, not giving them the kind of respect that they deserve?
Well, I'm sorry to say, I'm constrained to say that the apathy is showing more and more gradually. As the time is going past, this apathy is showing itself. I will give you a few examples. There have been people sitting, ex-servicemen sitting on hunger strike for 19 days today, and there is a total apathy for them. They were heroes, one-time heroes. That's what I want to tell you. Secondly, the lady is very charged and keyed up at the neglect of the society in large. Now, giving a medal is not just a piece of metal. It's as a metal, it's valueless.
Right.
But the amount of value it has, any honorable officer or JC of the Indian Army is ready to sacrifice his life for that little chakra that he gets.
Right.
Now, if she thinks that the president is going to be very moved by the medal that he takes from her, I think she is slightly mistaken, because boxes full of medals have been given and we were just told to put it there in that corner. So that's the kind of respect we give to the medals. for which people are prepared to give
So you're saying
lives.
those medals have actually no value?
No value, no value.
Colonel Thapar, we in fact have Urmila Yadav live with us this afternoon. Urmila Yadav, you heard what Colonel Thapar there had to say. Do you also feel that these medals actually have no value in real life because soldiers go and sacrifice their life but the country refuses to acknowledge it?
या मैं यही सोचती हूँ कि इस मेडल का कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है जब सैनिक की शहीद की परिवार की कोई सुनवाई नहीं होती है और हमें ऐसे अनदेखी करी जाती है और हमें जो हमारे बच्चे ऐसे बेरोजगार भटक रहे हैं हमने इसके लिए बहुत दर की ठोकरें खाई हैं कोई हमारी सुनवाई नहीं करता है।
उर्मिला जी, आपने
तो
पिछले 5 सालों में क्या-क्या एफर्ट की है? आपको एक पेट्रोल पंप प्रॉमिस किया गया था, पिछले 5 सालों में आपने किस-किस से बात की है, कहाँ अपना एप्लीकेशन ले गई है, आपको कांटेक्ट किया है किसी डिफेंस मिनिस्ट्री के या ऑयल मिनिस्ट्री के ऑफिसर ने ये अश्योर करते हुए कि आपको ये ग्रांट होने वाला है?
हाँ, मैंने सारी ऑयल कंपनी से सबसे कांटेक्ट में रही हूँ और 2 साल से मैं बहुत ज़्यादा हताश और निराश हो चुकी हूँ। मैंने चीफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हुड्डा के पंचकुला के 10 चक्कर लगाए हैं। मेरे बेटे ने रात भर जर्नी करके पूरे दिन वहाँ पड़े रहे हैं और वहाँ पे जाते हैं तो वो सीधे मुँह बात तक नहीं करते हैं। मैंने सीएम को लेटर लिखा है, चीफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हुड्डा को पंचकुला को लेटर लिखा है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर गुड़गांव को लिखा है, एस्टेट ऑफिसर रिवाड़ी में कई बार मुलाकात की है, लेकिन सीएम विंडो पे भी 3 बार मैंने एप्लीकेशन अपनी शिकायत भेजी है, लेकिन कोई भी सुनवाई नहीं कर रहा है।
Colonel Thapar, would you like to give her some advice because she's literally gone to everyone possible?
No. You see, the point is, why should she have to run around?
Absolutely.
Why can't the organizations that be look after her? If she has been allotted a petrol pump, allotted I'm saying, if she has been given an LOI, then there's no need for her to run from pillar to post. Somebody should take care of her.
And who's to be blamed for this delay?
Well, I do not know what is the hang up because there is a proper committee made, selection committee is made, and they select the people and give them the allotments. Once the allotment is done, it's only a matter of routine that the pump is created for the lady. Now, I don't know whether she has been given a LOI, has somebody guided her, if not the oil officials, at least the army people, they should guide her. The lady is quite, as you can see, the lady is not, most of the ladies are protected and they are not worldly wise.
Absolutely.
So she won't know the procedures and things.
All right, let's also get a word from our correspondent Jugal Purohit, who's with us live this afternoon. Jugal, why the delay? Can you share details of this case with us?
Simi, the case details have already been put out by our reporters who've been tracking the story in Haryana. And what I can, of course, add is that, this is not the first instance. In fact, just a few months ago, when a naval plane crashed into the Arabian Sea of Goa, and the navigator was someone who was a resident of Haryana. I recall we had done the story on India Today when the Haryana Chief Minister promised to visit the residents of the Martyr, and 3 to 4 times the Chief Minister cancelled it and asked the family to just wait around. That's the kind of attitude, and this particular case obviously is a continuation of the same attitude that we are seeing. And as Colonel Thapar just pointed out, this is happening while there have been veterans who are continuing with an embarrassing protest in the heart of the national capital for 20 long days. So in a sense, the party which claimed to be a nationalistic party, which wanted to change the way in which the armed forces, the veterans were being seen and treated, most importantly in this country, seems to have completely failed. And the very fact that this widow has to go around different ministries reminding them of her family and her husband's sacrifice is a proof enough. If that's not enough, the OROP cases there are several disability pension cases which are still being fought for amounts as little as 100 to 200 in the Supreme Court by the Defence Ministry. So it's part of a larger apathy that the government is displaying towards the armed forces, and the biggest issue out here is that this was a government which promised a change. So just where has that change disappeared? This is the question which the Haryana Chief Minister, the Defence Minister and the Prime Minister should be responding to.
Absolutely. Colonel Thapar, do you agree? Because as far as war veterans are concerned, retired army personnel and defence personnel are concerned, family members of martyrs are concerned, the government seems to have a similar attitude for all of them. They're all victims of government apathy.
Yes, this apathy is on the increase. You see statements made by some of the people, some of the leaders, because the entire thing is on top. If on top the leaders or high top level people give the respect, automatically it percolates to the society.
Absolutely.
But if they are indifferent, then you have indifference here. Now you see that photo, this particular photo in which the president is very proudly pinning the medal on him.
Right.
Now just see that moment. You got to feel it, to be there in the Ashoka Hall and getting all the respect, and then same medal is being returned. What level of frustration it is, what level of disgust she must be feeling to give that medal.
And absolutely, you're a national hero for 1 second, the next moment you're completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Colonel Thapar, we have callers who are calling us and want to share their comments with us. Jayashree from Pune is with us on the phone line. Jayashree, go ahead, what do you have to say?
Good afternoon, madam. First of all, my heartfelt sympathies to the lady who has lost her husband and has come to a point to return the medal. The defense services, ex-servicemen, everybody is being neglected. At least this lady is an officer's wife. There are many OR's wives also who are affected by this. Their promised pension they are not getting. They even have to, for their rightful pension, they are fighting. And even for last 19 days, people have been on hunger strike, the ex-servicemen. And the government is so apathetic that they are being ignored, they are being sidelined and no promises being kept. I mean, I have my full sympathy for Mrs. Yadav and I am in a total agreement with Colonel Thapar that justice has to be done to the ex-servicemen, their families, and the present serving conditions in the country has to improve. They fight on the borders. Even for civic issues like some child going into the hole, the Indian Army is called. They are called for disasters like the Taj Trident. What happened in Mumbai, 26/11, Indian Army came forward, Navy came forward, Air Force came forward. For Nepal, look at Uttarakhand flood. It is only the defense services which is coming forward.
All right, Jayashree, thanks so much for calling us and sharing your views with us. Jayashree, they're making a very important point, saying that for all emergencies, we do rely on our defense personnel, but when it comes to the government helping them or people recognizing their sacrifice, they're almost forgotten. Colonel Thapar, I also want to ask you, there's a similar case. Captain Saurabh Kalia's family has been fighting for the longest time. It's been years and years, and all they want is the government to approach an international court and lodge a protest saying that there was torture that was meted out to Captain Saurabh Kalia, and the government has refused to do so. And consecutive governments, it's not just the BJP, the UPA also refused to take up this matter to the highest authorities.
Well, what can I say, it's as much open to you as it is to me. He was known, he was a classmate of my son. We knew him personally. The emotions are strong on that particular point. But it is not only for the government to do something about it.
Right.
Any private organization, NGOs and so many other organizations are there. Anyone can take up this matter. Why there is a deafening silence on somebody else taking up if the government is not doing it? Absolutely. So that's what I feel. The kind of spirit that used to exist after 65 war, I remember, they used to come with a chadar, and the ladies used to just take out their ornaments and put it. Mind you, the honor was so much, they never bothered. My own mother took out her bangles and whatever she was wearing and put it in the chadar. The slogan that Shastri, Prime Minister of India, had given was, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Today, see what is happening to the Jawan.
And see what's happening to the Kisan. There are these agitations that
they are hanging themselves, killing themselves. I hope they don't bring that kind of a situation to the retired people, because after all, we who have joined the service in way back, seen 62, 65, 71, Kargil, what do we want in the end? We just want Izzat.
And then what do you make of this entire talk of nationalism by the government?
Well, that will first.
Those are just empty words.
Not, I won't call them empty, but I mean they must be backed by action.
They need to be backed by action.
Backed by action. If the action is missing, you can keep on saying what you want to say.
Absolutely.
So I would say that, you know, the actions speak louder than the words. Let's see some action happening. Let's see something coming towards the defense forces. Now, this lady, I don't see why she cannot be given a pump if it has been allotted to her. If it has been allotted to her by the Indian Oil, I mean, she must get it.
Absolutely. In fact, Colonel Thapar, we have Narendra Yadav also, who's with us live. He's Urmila Yadav's brother. Narendra Yadav, can you exactly tell us why this delay? Has any clarification or reason been given to you over the last 5 years? Narendra Yadav, can you hear me?
जी सर.
नरेंद्र जी, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है? नरेंद्र जी, आप हमको बताइए कि पिछले 5 साल में आपने किस किस को अप्रोच किया है? आपके बहन ने हमको बताया कि काफ़ी चीफ मिनिस्टर को चिट्ठी लिखी, दिल्ली आके उन्होंने यहाँ पे मिनिस्ट्रीज में भी चिट्ठी डाली, काफ़ी लोगों से अपॉइंटमेंट सॉर्ट किया. आपको कभी कोई रिस्पांस मिला? कि आपको क्या बताया गया है कि पिछले 5 साल से ये क्यों अप्रूव नहीं हुआ है? क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
ये ऐसा है जी, हमने हर जगह पे अपने प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी को भी भेजा है और सीएम को भेजा है, चीफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर पंचकुला को भेजा है और लोकायुक्त हरियाणा को भेजा है और हमने अपना जो सांसद अपने डिफेंस राज्य मंत्री हैं राविंदरजीत सिंह, उनको भी भेजा है. हमारी कहीं सुनवाई नहीं हुई है. और मैं सबसे पहले तो ये इतना बड़ा स्कैंडल है कि मैं इसके बारे में आप लोगों को ये बताना चाहता हूं कि किस तरह से बिल्कुल सफेद को इन्होंने काला कर दिया. इसके अंदर 19-20 को सिलेक्ट कर दे, कोई बात नहीं. मैं इसके बारे में अगर आप इजाजत दे तो मैं इसके बारे में जो मेन स्कैंडल है उसको आपको नोटिस में लाना चाहता हूं.
जी बताइए.
हाँ, ऐसा है कि जी ये जो उड्डा सेक्टर 18, 19, 20, 25 और धारवाड़ा सेक्टर 4, 6 के अंदर ये उड्डा की साइट निकली गई थी. उसके अंदर जो है इंडिविजुअल अप्लाई नहीं कर सकता, लेकिन जो ऑयल कंपनियां हैं वो अप्लाई कर सकती थी. उसके अंदर ये एक हुड्डा की पॉलिसी है कि सबसे पहले डिफेंस कैटेगरी को प्रायोरिटी दी जाएगी. अगर डिफेंस कैटेगरी से कोई नहीं है तो उसके बाद में दूसरा नंबर है. हम सिर्फ एक ही डिफेंस कैटेगरी से थे और सिलेक्शन एक उर्मिला यादव वाइफ ऑफ वीरेंद्र सिंह का हुआ और एक बसंत यादव वाइफ ऑफ सुरेंद्र सिंह का सिलेक्शन हुआ. हमारा सिलेक्शन ही नहीं किया गया, जबकि जो उर्मिला यादव वाइफ ऑफ वीरेंद्र सिंह था ये तो कहीं फाइल के अंदर ही नहीं था. ना किसी ऑयल कंपनी ने इनको स्पॉन्सर किया, इंडिविजुअल भर नहीं सकते थे, ये फाइल पे इसका नाम ही नहीं आ सकता था, ये तो नोवेयर थी कहीं भी. लेकिन ये फाइल पे कैसे आई और इसका सिलेक्शन भी कैसे हो गया. और रही बात जो है बसंत यादव की, वो हमसे प्रायोरिटी के अंदर नीचे थी और इंडियन ऑयल ने हमें जो है टॉप प्रायोरिटी दी गई थी कि अगर एक भी दिया जाए तो इनको दिया जाए, लेकिन हमें दिया ही नहीं गया. और उसके अंदर मैंडेटरी है कि जो बोर्ड बना था, उड्डा प्रशासक गुड़गांव के अधीन और 2 और मेंबर थे, उनके
ऑलराइट नरेंद्र जी, मैं समझ गई. बेसिकली आप ये कह रहे हैं कि बहुत सारी डिस्क्रेपेंसीज है, प्रोसीजर्स आर बीइंग फ्लाउटेड, बट अल्टीमेटली द क्वेश्चन इज हु इज रिस्पांसिबल फॉर दिस इंसल्ट and are we as a country not willing to give due respect to our martyrs? We have another caller on the phone line with us. Aslam from Mumbai has called in. Aslam, go ahead. What do you have to say?
Good evening, madam. I'm Aslam speaking.
Yes, Aslam, go ahead.
See, they are explaining the insult and injustice of the soldiers is like drying the sea.
Sorry?
Hello?
Yes, Aslam, go ahead. What do you have to say?
See, the explanation of the injustice and insult to the soldiers is like drying the sea.
I want to say that why can't we have a system when a complaint is registered, it has to be, once it is not solved, it has to be forwarded like we have so many UID system and all, it can be recorded, it can be tracked. And it is unfortunately that all systems are not taking care of the soldiers, whether it is judiciary, whether it is executive or legislature is well known.
All right, thanks so much, Aslam. Colonel V.N. Thapa, thank you so much for taking our time and coming to our studios, and thank you for sharing your views also with us. This is, I know, a topic which is very close to your heart. This is really a case of a story of national shame. The sacrifice, supreme sacrifice made by martyrs being forgotten not just by the people of the country but also by those in power. How will the government respond to this story? Will Urmila Yadav's appeals finally be heard?